all that stuff, man.
Yeah, we'll get it done, bro. We'll get
Yeah,
it done.
maybe I don't know. Maybe next Wednesday. I don't know your schedule and stuff like that. But here's a pleasure and a privilege as a part of the Bottom Line Sports Show team. This is a gentleman that one of the things I got to say is by far one of the greatest interviews that we've had the pleasure of doing here on the Bottom Line Sports Show. And it's a gentleman that I call a friend, and I have the utmost respect because basketball just doesn't define who he is. It's a gentleman that's done so much and he carries himself in such a positive and dignified way. The outstanding one of the executive producers of the show, the Bottom Line Sports Show, Penny Hardaway.
Thank you, Gerald. I'll pay you later.
Oh, please don't do that. Don't do that. Penny, I want to ask you, get your thoughts on really just looking at the whole overall NBA free agency. Uh, as a whole, what are your thoughts on just this free agency? Has it helped or hurt the NBA in terms of marketing the brand, in terms of being able to move forward and really showcase it to an audience that would be paying attention to perhaps baseball right now?
I think it kind of hurts a little bit because fans who fall in love with players being on certain teams, when this frenzy starts happening, fans start getting scared, man. They start begging and pleading athletes not to leave. And you know, when LeBron left Cleveland, man, it broke the entire state of Ohio's heart. And with Melo in the midst and LeBron back in the midst again of thinking about where they want to go, they both might reside in the same place, but it's so much going on that the fans, man, if it does happen the other way, they just kind of fall out of love with players and out of, with teams, man, when it happens.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, but pretty based upon the money. We saw today that a guy like Gordon Hayward was given a 4-year deal, $63 million, a max deal by the Charlotte Hornets, and we've seen so much money being handed out. Is this ultimately to be the downfall, the beginning of the end, if you will, that we could be possibly headed to a potential lockout in 2017 when these owners are opt out of their CBA? And could this be sort of one of the remedies to the reason why we'll have perhaps another lockout?
I think so. I think that the players are definitely deserving of what they get. Teams want to be better. I mean, with LeBron and Chris Bosh going to Miami, that kind of jump started other players who want to go and play on other teams and not stay loyal to the team that they were drafted by. So I think that the owners are going to get tired of players wanting to jump ship and going to join together. And there's possibly a lockout in the near future.
Yeah, the great Penny Hardaway joining us here on the Bottom Line Sports Show. How surprised are you that, you know what, Penny, the NBA has really carried itself as if a copycat league. We saw that you saw teams that, again, when you wanted bigs and stuff like that, you had all these teams that were trying to get a lot of 7-footers. Then you have a situation where the Miami Heat had really the big three, if you will, joining together. We haven't seen a lot of teams really follow the blueprint of success behind the San Antonio Spurs, and they've been a mark of excellence. Why has it been such one? Why has the NBA been one where we haven't seen teams follow that sort of path of success, but rather go this route of being the Miami Heat for consecutive NBA Finals?
Well, I think you have to have a special group of guys. Started with Tim Duncan, and then they got Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. Those guys wanted to stay in San Antonio no matter what. They love playing together, and it's not like that with all the other teams. Most guys want to get out of their contract and go somewhere else. It was just San Antonio is a beautiful city. It's definitely a family city where you can grow your family. It's not too fast, not too slow. So there were a lot of positives that went on with San Antonio. Knowing how to recruit overseas guys. I mean, their overseas connections are really good because I don't know if they've even missed on a guy from overseas yet, bringing a guy over to try to help their team out. And the main thing is to keep the big three together, and that's what they've done. And all three of those guys are from out of the country.
Yeah, I think that they have done a great job in terms of the level of success. I mean, it's been unbelievable. And we had a situation today with Greg Popovich extending his contract. I've never seen an NBA free agency be held to a standstill, if you will, by a situation predicated on one individual, LeBron James. How, just in the landscape of this, you look at a team like Houston now, where Chandler Parsons signs this little restricted free agency deal with the Dallas Mavericks. Could we see a situation where perhaps teams like the Houston Rockets or the Los Angeles Lakers, who do not get one of these big free agents, look to overspend and really, in regards to really just save face with their fan base?
Yeah, I think that they will be caught into that situation. You have to do that to try to save the fan base. Because, like you say, we both know that fans fall in love with players, and when the players leave, man, they're heartbroken. The organization has to do something pretty quickly to try to fill that void. And Chandler going to Dallas is a huge deal for the Rockets because he was one of the bigger pieces.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a big piece. I'm still not sold. I think that perhaps he might be a product of the system. I mean, it remains to be seen. It's a really open type of offensive-minded team in regards to this lack of defense. Now you go to perhaps a little bit more of a structured organization. I don't know if that's Dallas or anywhere else. It's a build. The jury's still out if he is pretty much a product of the system itself. Moving forward, Penny, we talked about the Los Angeles Lakers. Will the Lakers be at a disadvantage, the head coach, whenever they decide to hire one? Because it's basically you're waiting for whatever that free agent that they sign. Will that coach be at a disadvantage?
I think they will, especially if they sign one of the bigger guys like Carmelo. Whoever comes in is going to have to bow down to Carmelo because it's going to be his team. I think that a coach is at a huge disadvantage if the player gets signed before the coach comes in, because now you got to come in and do everything differently versus you being there, you being able to meet with the guy, you being able to talk to him about your system, how things are going to go. You'll have to mold yourself around him instead of him molding himself around you guys.
Yeah. Penny Hardaway joining us here on the Bottom Line Sports Show. Penny, what will be one of the biggest challenges for a guy that you were very familiar in seeing coach, and that being Lionel Hollins taking over this Brooklyn Nets team at this late juncture?
I think it'll be easier for him than you expect because a lot of people thought that he got unfairly fired in Memphis and that he was a great coach. So the guys want him, and that's no knock on Jason Kidd, but he wasn't a veteran coach like Lionel Hollins. So I think the team is wanting that. He took the Grizzlies to another level while he was here. So the guys are really excited. The city's excited. So they got a coach that went out a winner and was fired while he was winning. So it's not like they got somebody that had been losing.
But see, Penny, I kind of disagree with you because the thing about it is you had a players coach that really, if you will, Kevin Durant, Garnett, Paul Pierce, really bought into it because, again, he was just a year removed from the situation. Now you have a guy in Lionel Hollins that comes in, and yes, he had a ton of success in Memphis, but it was a kind of a situation where he had molded, if you will, from a Mike Conley to a Zach Randolph to a Marc Gasol. And there were reports that he ruled with an iron fist. And one of those situations, being able to adapt your style to a team that comes off of having, so quote unquote, a player's coach and a guy that was one of their pretty much constituents the year before that, their contemporaries, to now you having this guy that's going to rule with an iron fist. That could be a very difficult, challenging situation in terms of really meeting somewhere who decides to give in and says buy into what he's selling.
Well, I think, with the veteran players on the team, especially KG and Paul Pierce, they play for Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, he rules with an iron fist as well, and they won a championship with that. Sometimes you need somebody to come in and tighten the ship up and not be so loose, especially with their franchise is very new. And I think that Coach Hollins will be successful in doing so.
Yeah. Now, Penny, I asked you off air. Again, you're in great shape. You back down and you're playing weight. What outside of that? What is this? I mean, on Instagram, I see you're running the football field. You're getting a pool work in. What's this? What's this all about, Penny?
It's just self-motivation, man. My body feels good now. My knees don't hurt anymore, and I'm just really I've always worked really hard in my career, getting ready for the seasons, and my mindset is still in that area, man. I've always worked, and I enjoy working out. I enjoy being in shape. I'm afraid to get fat or heavier, way heavier, to where you get so far that you can't go back. And I'm just trying to do it as long as God allows me to do it. And I'm just doing it for the fun of it, really, just self-motivation.
Are you still playing and pretty much just really playing in competitive basketball? And is it one of those situations where, as an athlete that played at such an elite level that you have played, is it hard to get it out of your system just to say, hey, I'm done with it, I'll walk away from it, and you might casually work out? And not to say that you're working out crazy, but is it something that you really just hard to really let go?
It is hard to let go. We play 2 times a week basketball. I play golf pretty much every day. I work out with the guy that's on Instagram, Shabazz. 4 times a week, and I ride my bike about 80 miles a week through all of that. So I'm just enjoying it, man. Just really to be healthy, thanking God to be healthy now, and to be able to do the things that I can do right now. I didn't think I was going to be able to do that when I retired from the NBA because my left knee was hurting me so bad. So now it's just really just self-motivation. And like you said, playing at an elite level while I was in the league and then retiring, and I still have those juices in me to be competitive.
Yeah. Now, Penny, we've seen Jason Kidd. We've seen Derek Fisher now. The NBA has moved towards really hiring ex-players that were not that far removed from the NBA in terms of going back to looking coach. We've seen a guy like Kevin Ollie come up in a lot of discussions, potentially going back to the NBA. You're coaching, having a lot of success with the Team Penny program and down in Memphis. Is there ever that little itch to say perhaps let me look at, i.e., the head coaching position at perhaps the college level or the NBA?
I haven't gotten that itch yet. I'm really with the grassroots. I really enjoy teaching the kid that doesn't know how to dribble, that doesn't know how to set a screen, that doesn't know how to move without the ball, that doesn't know how to do all the fundamentals of the game, chest pass, bounce pass, entry pass, and helping them understand the game so that it will help them out. Because once you get to that level, it's totally different. I really want to teach the kids how to play the game right now. I haven't had the itch to do college nor NBA.
None at all. So if somebody came and offered you a $25 million contract, $5 million a year to really grow with it, I mean,
I'm gone. No.
You're like,
no.
yo, see you.
Yeah, okay, kids.
Watch my DVD on Learn How to Make a Layup.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, that was really Jason Kidd's MO in terms of why he wanted to go to Milwaukee. There's been a lot of money given to these guys, and again, right situation, right situation, and guys are being paid handsomely. If that situation presented itself, would you look at possibly going and say, hey, let me go ahead and give it a try?
Absolutely, you would look at it then. If somebody came and approached me, hey, we've been monitoring you, we enjoy the way you coach, and we want to bring you in, of course I would go in.
Yeah. Now you get back on that circuit next week in terms of that. The Peach Jam is around there. Talk about your AAU program. That's really been a very, very successful one. You got a lot of kids that's high Division I players. Talk about that and really just, again, being able to help kids that were pretty much on that level in terms of being recruited very highly and sort of being able to provide some insight to what they can expect going through this whole process.
Yeah, it's been a blessing to be able to have the talent that I have on the team. When I retired, I really wanted a program. I didn't know how many great players I would have, good players I would have, or if it would be guys that all needed fundamental work. But I have been blessed to coach a team that's full of talent. We might have the most talent 1 through 9 on our team over the whole entire Peach Jam, which says a lot, over the EYBL league. But it's been great to just try to get these guys prepared to go and be professionals and go out there and showcase their talent to try to win the Peach Jam. And, man, it's been so much fun coaching this talent. A lot of these guys remind me of myself and how I approach the game and how I play the game. But they can only get better as time goes. And, man, I'm just enjoying it. My program is actually the rankings of my 9th grade team, 10th grade, 11th grade, 10th and 11th grade teams have been top 10 for the last couple of years. And, man, that says a lot. And I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah, Penny Hardaway joining us again. So I know I asked you before, you got to take a vacation and stuff like that. What I've learned about you, Penny, that I'm not ashamed to share with everybody, you engage yourself, you immerse yourself in certain things for a little while that pique your interest, and then you move on and stuff. You look for challenges, if you will, sort of things to really take on. What's that next challenge around the corner? You losing weight and all this other stuff. You're drinking 4 eggs in the morning, getting out there. I know Brother Shabazz that's working you out. I know he allow you to eat a lot of pork. So I know Brother Shabazz is making sure that you're righteous. And you know what I'm saying? You eat right. What's the next challenge for Penny Hardaway?
I think the next challenge is for me. My whole goal is to be a billionaire. I have to be honest with you. My mindset is on that next level of money, like the billionaire status, man. Honestly, I'm really pushing for that. I don't think it's impossible. I got some things brewing right now. With my gym going up, a 5-court gym that's going to be going up, should be done March 1st of 2015. It's going to be bigger and better things, maybe a clothing line. Just dealing with a lot of things right now, and the next challenge might be the facility and trying to do some things to get to that billionaire status, bro. To be honest, so I can help more people.
Yeah. Again, can I get a piece of that action, man?
Oh, of course, of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah. Penny
of course,
Hardaway. I
of course,
mean.
man.
Penny Hardaway. Listen, man. Hey, Penny. Great to see you, man. And I, like I said off air, man. Again, you're very inspiring in all that you're doing. And I mean, I've always admired you. And I think I probably told you this. I don't know if I shared with a lot of people. In terms of meeting you, a big fan in terms of what you were able to do on the court. But I'm an even bigger fan of what you're able to do off the court and where you carry yourself. Again, very humble, down to earth individual, and it's just to see what you've been doing and so committed to not only your city, but let alone those children and young people in the city of Memphis. I applaud you, and I always really want to be the one to be able to have this platform to share the story, because I think there's such a following of individuals that's out there worldwide that are so in love and appreciate Penny Hardaway that it's just that it's more than basketball that defines who you are as a human being. And I salute you, my friend, and definitely great talking with you. I know you're in a restaurant. I know Brother Shabazz may have you eat before sundown. So, again, I know you got to go ahead and get your meal. But, Penny, I really appreciate it. Definitely look forward to talking to you real soon.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, G, man. I just thank God for all of these opportunities. I think Steve Harvey said it best, man, when he got an award. Maybe it was like BET Awards. He won a like humanitarian award. He was like, God, I really feel like he felt God gave us this money and allowed us to be successful so that he knew that we were going to do the right things by it.
But
and that's giving back, man. And I definitely believe in that.
Yeah, but you haven't let it change, and that's the thing that's been so inspiring because you know, you're just so grounded. That's the thing about it is just that, again, and I think that what's so appreciative is that you are very receptive. You have a little inner circle. You get it. As I always tell the people, it's that when you first came on the show, very, very guarded, and rightfully so. You didn't know us from a hole in the wall, a can of paint. But the thing is that you're so grounded, you're so very, very appreciative, and the fact is, you're so humble. Why, Penny? Why? Because again, you can basically be, look, I got enough money, I can do it and do what I want to do. But again, you just seem just connect with the average person. Why?
My grandmother, man. My grandmother instilled it in me a long time ago. She was a very humble person, and she always told me my attitude would always take me so far. If you have a good attitude, your attitude is what you can. You can always have a good attitude with people. Don't ever think that you're bigger or better than anyone. Don't ever do that. And my grandmother just taught me that a long time ago. And I've always been that kid where I've been down to earth. And my shyness and being quiet and being respectful has sometimes been seen as cockiness or being arrogant. But there's none of that in me. That's none of that in me, though. So I just thank my grandmother for just instilling all the right motives and morals in me.
Yeah, a lot of people just sit back and say, oh, Penny's weird and all this other stuff. But I just think that the fact is you don't do the normal stuff that sort of guys, again, you don't play the clubs,
No.
I mean, again, I told some people, and again, I'm not going to hold you, but I thought it was really telling. I came down to see you, hung out with you down in Memphis, and it was all about the kids. And I say one thing where when you took those kids that were getting ready for their middle school prom or step-up ceremony, and it was go into the store, get what you want. And I thought that was so inspiring because, who's to say a lot of these young people might be in a situation where they have come from situations where they're able to go in the store and say, hey, no, that looks nice, regardless of how much it costs, go ahead and get it. And they felt good about what they had on. And I thought it was very, very inspiring for you to be able to do that. And it's like I said before, it's a person that, again, I truly had the utmost admiration for you because it just doesn't allow your success to define who you are in terms of how you carry yourself. You don't let it go all to your head and stuff like that. Just as long as you're not singing, man.
And you know what else, G? It's just the typical person, every average day athlete probably drinks, probably does whatever club, whatever they do. I'm not the norm. I mean, I think special people, they don't do what the normal people do. They don't do everyday normal things. You're going to be weird in your own way. That's what makes you great.
Yeah.
And that's just me, man. I don't really care about peer pressure never got me to drink, smoke, do anything negative. So I don't care about people, how they feel about me, because I don't feel like they're on a level mentally enough to understand where I'm trying to go. That's why God allowed me to get there.
But Penny, sometimes, and again, has it always been in a situation, not to say that you don't appreciate the people. Has it been difficult for you to allow people just in somewhat? I mean, again, you allow myself and Howie in, and in terms of just being a part of, yes, again, inner circle, be able to pick up the phone, contact you. But again, I've always been fascinated by the masses of the people that are out there that are so receptive to fans and stuff. Like, you don't do a lot of tweeting, but you put some pictures up on Instagram.
Yeah.
There's so many people. Now,
Yeah.
granted, you can't please everybody, but is there ever a situation where you look at it and say, man, I wish I could do a little bit more in terms of letting the fans connect to me? Because I think it's always telling that if these are fans that have been down with you from day one that are still there, they want to just be able to say, I'm a fan of Penny Hardaway. Now, they don't know you, but what they're able to do. Is that so difficult? Because, again, you just live a life where, again, you immerse yourself into really helping the city of Memphis and just really keep a quiet life.
I think smaller is better, and I do think that I have to change that to try to allow the fans to know what's going on with me on a daily basis. They can kind of touch maybe on a weekly basis of what's going on with me, because you do want to cater to your fans. These are the people that supported you in your career. So I do know that. And then another side of me is I'm just a loner. I'm just quiet. I'm just shy. And I'm not trying to ignore them. That's just who I am. And I do need to let them know other things that I'm interested in, and get into know me on a more personal note. And I just have to get better with that, man.
Do you think that really society now, because we have the Twitter, we have the Instagram, we have instant social media, that people are feeling they're entitled to know everything that you're doing? Like, Penny, how much money you got? What kind of cars you got? Do you feel that in the situation you have to, in your situation has to provide a healthy balance of, this is my public life, but this is also my private life, but I'm just a quiet person.
I'm sorry for interrupting. It's just who I am, man. And I'm very guarded about letting anyone into my circle, because there's so many people out there with so many different schemes and so many different negative angles when they come into your circle. And as you see on a daily basis, you're always getting somebody wanting to write a book, getting somebody want to, talk about your personal life, or you didn't know this, you didn't know that. It just gets really sloppy the more people that you let in your circle, and I'm not big on that.
Yeah. Penny, before I let you go, Michael Jordan said that at one point at 50 he could be able to play. Could you still be able to play right now in the NBA?
Absolutely. I feel like I'm much better than what I was when I was with the Miami Heat in 07, 08. I was in shape, but my legs weren't great. I definitely could give 10, 15 minutes a night to a team right now, for sure. Easy.
And could you get double figures?
Depends on how many shots I took. If I was taking 10 shots a night, I feel like I could get double figures.
Yeah, that's good. What are your thoughts on the I saw your World Cup and all that stuff, and I want to ask you this question because, again, we always talk about basketball and stuff. Tiger Woods, Penny, golf has really suffered since Tiger has not been the same and stuff like that. Do you ever think that he will be able to recover and be able to – is it get to a point that golf will suffer if he doesn't come back until they find that next guy? It was thought to be Rory McIlroy. It's not that guy. Mickelson. Nobody's been able to sort of claim that throne, if you will, from Tiger Woods.
It does hurt when Tiger's not playing well. And I do hope that he gets back, but who knows? As you get older, you really don't get better. You can get some wins, but it's not the dominance that he had when he was younger, like in 2000. 14 years later, a lot of surgeries. He's continually working on his game. It's just changing his swing. If it were just the injuries, that probably would be okay, but he's in the process of changing swings, and it's just tough, man. And golf will suffer until we find someone that could ever get on that level again. That level is really high, though.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, Penny, listen, enjoy yourself, man. Enjoy your meal. I appreciate you always, brother, and definitely continued success, and I'll be talking to you real soon.
All right, thanks, bro. Always good talking to you.
Anytime. Penny Hardaway!